one of the top experts in the world on sales.
King of collaboration.
He's on the cutting edge, and what he does works.
Jim Padilla.
CEO of Gain the Edge.
He is the leader when it comes to sales and conversions.
A sales and business coach to some of the biggest names in the country.
Jim Padilla is known as the go-to guy for all things sales.
Hey now, did you know that you can be an influencer without being a leader, but you're not likely to be a leader without being an influencer, right? You can do one without the other. All right, I'm Jim Padilla. Welcome to the Make More Sales podcast. So glad to be able to share this with you, and make sure that you're please rate and review and subscribe. Make sure that you get notifications for when the new episodes are coming and all that jazz. So if this is your first visit to us, well, awesome. Welcome. Jim Padilla, the humble leader of this environment here, the owner of Gain the Edge. We all focus, everything in our company is focused on helping people make more sales without getting better at selling. That's what you're going to get here. So feel free to go back to the intro podcast, intro episode. Sorry, I've been on calls all morning, actually all week for that matter. My tongue is just worn out. So go back to the intro episode, tells a little bit more about what to expect from all of this. But here's something that's been coming up frequently. And it actually came up on a training that I was wrapping up today again. So I decided I need to get this episode done. The term influencer. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Social media influencer. That's like the latest craze. It's actually a business, right? Hey, and I'm all for it. Bottom line, I am for any way you can find to leverage the marketplace for good. Okay. And again, I've learned income comes as a direct byproduct of problems that you solve. Influencers, many don't solve a huge problem, but they have a platform, and that platform can be leveraged, right? So a lot of times people will pay an influencer to get eyeballs on their products or get a message out, et cetera. And I know a lot of people who do it very creatively. But you can be an influencer without being a leader. Okay, influencer has really come to a place of basically by seeing what you do, they see what's available. And here's the interesting, I'm basically just going to kind of rant and riff on the difference between the two. And now please hear me. I'm not saying either is bad. Influence is vital. Influence is necessary as a leader. You must be able to influence people. We're in the sales game here. And a big part of selling is being able to influence people to become something more, influence people to make a great decision in their own best interest, right? But the difference with a leader and an influencer is it's interesting. Actually, somebody told me this recently. It's in a different perspective, but I related it to this. Talk about how the difference between interest and commitment. This is something I talk about a lot. Interest means you're in the game. Committed says there is no other game. Okay, that's like bacon and egg breakfast, right? The chicken is the chicken is interested, right? They're invested. They popped out an egg for it. They committed. They're part of this breakfast. The pig was committed. The pig was all in, right? You had to kill the pig to have a bacon and egg breakfast. You don't have to kill the chicken to have a bacon and egg breakfast. I've heard that so many times, it's almost like a joke now. But if you really think about the level of commitment that's necessary for that to happen, I think about those terms as a salesperson, as a sales professional. In order for you to show up and change people's lives with your products, services, goods, and offerings, or anything that you're doing to help move people to make a great decision, to take action on something, you influence is part of the process. Okay, but when you're leading somebody, you're taking ownership over part of that process. So which means you said, I own my role in this process. I am sold out to doing whatever is necessary to help move this process to the next step, help lead somebody to taking the action towards what's best to them. If I'm the influencer, then I am interested. I'm setting an example, possibly. I'm showing what's possible. And that's great. That's part of the process. right? But you don't have a stake in it. A leader's got a stake in it. If you're leading the process, then you're held accountable to what's going to be the outcome or the possible outcomes or the paths and the trajectories, whatever happens from this point forward. Influencer, you have an image. Influencer is about the image presented. Can you present an image that delivers enough clarity and inspiration to want to, for somebody to want to take action, for somebody to lean in that direction? A leader has a presence to follow, right? Influence is setting an image to lean into. A leader sets a presence that engages and follows, right? You are here for that person, right? So as a leader, what are the things you have to do to be able to drive, to move the needle, to make that difference, right? And you have to have certainty and clarity and conviction in what you're doing. When you're showing up as a leader to influence somebody, you can influence as a byproduct of being a leader. But as an influencer, it doesn't mean you're leading. Got it? I mean, I'm going to dance between those two. But you got to think about it, right? As an influencer, you got to be where the people are always watching. As a leader, you have to know that people are always around. People are always around. If people are around you, whether it's virtual or in real business, whatever that means, you are impacting them. What you are doing, your actions impact others. Your thoughts will impact others because your thoughts come from your beliefs, right? They inspire your beliefs, and your beliefs will drive your actions, right? It's all circular. Okay, so you're going to be doing things as a leader. Even if you don't verbalize things, your thoughts and beliefs will impact the people who follow you, the people who are around you, right? And you'll be leading them in one direction or another. So influence is always in play when you're a leader, because there's a dynamic in the relationship. It says, as a leader of this community, as a leader of this team, as a leader of this family, as a leader of this relationship, whatever it might be, right? If you have a positional leadership role, or if you have just become the de facto leader, right? I have a men's Bible study group that I'm a part of. We've been meeting every Friday morning for close to a decade now. And I'm in a season right now where most of the guys look to me as the leader of the group. We don't have a leader of this group. There's just a bunch of guys, a bunch of mature Christian guys. We're all in this together. We're all inspiring each other. We challenge each other. We study and grow together. And at different phases, different guys lead. But we don't have like, this is my group, and you guys are here and we're following this person. It's the person who takes action. It's the person who speaks most. It's the person who has maybe a bigger, either bigger presence or a bigger opinion, right? And for me lately, I've just been more motivated, invigorated than the other guys. Not that anything special about me. I've had more fire in me about my Christian walk and my faith. So I have challenged guys to do more, to be more. I've had more verbal opinions, and I get into more debates about our Bible studies, and I always have something to say, and I'm always very interested in others' opinions. And that's not always. I'm not like that every day all my life, and every other guy isn't always like that. Some of the guys are never like that, right? But lately, I'm more that way than I'm not. But over the last couple of years, I've been a lot more that way than not. I'm just really questing and thirsting for more knowledge and understanding and depth of level of knowledge of word. So I have become a de facto leader in this group. I've always been an influencer in this group, but now I've basically taken on a visual connected role that says, I know my actions impact these guys. So I'm very cognizant of my actions and my thoughts towards them, my beliefs of them, the things I say and do around them, because I impact them. Okay. Even though I don't have a title. In my company, same thing. Everybody in this company looks to me as I go, so goes the company. And so I have to stay high. I have to stay above. I have to stay real. I also have to stay authentic. They need to know that I'm human, that I'm them, that I stumble and I make mistakes, but that I'm constantly sharing what's important, constantly sharing the vision, constantly sharing why are we doing all this? Why are we challenging you every day to do more? Because we know what's at stake, not just for us, but for the people we serve, for our mission in the world, right? That's being a leader. And in that leadership is also inspirational and influential. But I'm not just here to influence people and look and say, hey guys, I'm going this way. You want to come? Look at me, right? That's not the key. Influence, right? As an influencer, there's a lot of things. You can be a positional influencer, and you can be somebody who is visible and seen. And so what you say, other people will respond to. But as an influencer, you don't technically have any responsibility. As the leader, you do, right? Something that often happens in our industry. It's very common to have partnerships, alliance, um, affiliate partnerships, and JV alliances and relationships. So you can use your influence, your positional influence as a leader to lead your community to say, hey, my friend Justin, my friend Jay, like I have a launch that we're a part of next month, my friend Michael Neely is running this launch. You need to be a part of it. And here's why, right? As an influencer, I can say, hey, I'm going to use my influence over my audience to say, this is something you might want to check out. Or as a leader, I can take it to another level and say, look, you're in my world for a reason. I know the things you're struggling with. I know the things you're dealing with. And because of that, I'm bringing Michael Neely to you in this launch to literally give you another opportunity to help change your life and be able to integrate into this world a little deeper, right? I want you to go here. I believe in him. I sign off on him. I'm sending you to him because I know this is what you need, right? I have a stake in that. There's a difference between that and me sharing a post. Hey, this is cool. My friend Michael Neely's doing a launch. Check it out if you want, kind of thing, right? Both of them are influence. And I'm not saying that even as an influencer, you wouldn't share it with a degree of passion and responsibility, because you would. You say, hey, this is great if, this is great for, this is great if, right? Here's how this would work. This is why you should do it. And influence carries that day, but influence doesn't typically carry the responsibility as much as leadership does. So think in that spot, right? I want you to have more faith in the presence you own than the following you carry. Influence is about your following. Leadership is about your presence. Your presence can impact your following. Your following does not always dictate your presence. Word salad, call it whatever. But it's important. I want you to be able to think about that in your business, in your sales conversations as well, right? If you show up as a leader, you're becoming the person that people will follow willingly to make decisions in their own best interest. That's what leadership is in my world. That's Jim Padilla's definition of leadership. And that's why I believe leadership is synonymous with sales, right? Because in the sales game, you are influencing people. You are becoming a leader. You are becoming the person as a leader to influence people to take actions in their own best interests so they can make great decisions and rise above and overcome and become, right? That's what we want. That's the name of the game. That's the game I'm always playing. What game are you playing as a leader? What are you doing as an influencer? And many times, obviously these are kind of two sides of the same coin, right? And again, I'm not diminishing influencer, but as it's termed today, it's often used as a person with a following, a person with followers, a person with likes, right? It's a big thing right now. I mean, it's a difference between getting a job or not. Somebody could hire you. Companies today in a social media environment, if they're hiring you in any sort of leadership capacity or marketing, something that's going to be visible into the marketplace, if you've got 5,000 followers, that's interesting. But if you've got 50,000 or 500,000 followers or 5 million followers, all of a sudden you're an asset to the company. They can hire you because with one blast, you can impact the buying decisions of a huge community of people. And if your community is the right sector of the marketplace, then somebody could hire you. They could hire you as a job, as a position. They could they can rent your list. They can rent your visibility. Right. But just be clear about that. Make sure that you're thinking through the terms of that. If you have a following and visibility, how are you positioning that in the sales game? How are you make sure that you're letting people know, look, I just recommend this. I don't have any responsibility over it. And I've seen this. We had somebody who's talking to us right now about helping them do some Facebook ad work and some marketing. They have a makeup line website, Shopify page. And they did an influencer run with somebody on Instagram who had, I don't know, a couple million followers, and they paid for a blast to go out, and they got, X number of sales, made a few $1,000s. And this influencer specifically in her contract says, I take zero responsibility for the product, and I take zero responsibility for the people who buy, right? She's like, don't leave me out of this. If they don't like your product, that's between you and them. They don't come to me. If you don't like dealing with this person who bought from you, that's between you and them, not me. That's simply an influencer. That's somebody who's using their visibility to influence people to buy. It's a platform. A leader, if this would, like in my situation right now, I don't have 5 million followers, first of all, but I do have influence over our community. So if you were to come to me and we have a relationship and a partnership, especially the way we do business, it's all about partnerships, and I'm going to promote what you do. Like in the same situation, if I was to promote this Shopify page, it would be because I believe in and trust the product. I believe in and trust and know the people behind it. And I know it's something that is be viable to a segment of our following and our list. And I would share it from that perspective. Here's what it is. Here's why I'm sharing it with you. Here's what I expect. Here's what I'm hoping for. And if anything didn't work, I would fully expect them to come to me and say, hey, I just tried this stuff from, the person you recommended to us and it didn't work. And I would call them back and say, hey, can you please make sure that this is solved? Please get them a replacement, or please get them a refund, or whatever, because I'm taking ownership as the leader who influenced them to take action, right? As the leader of this community, they trust me to vet the outside world for anything that comes inside, right? Makes sense? So you also want to be thinking about that when you're selling to people, because when you're selling someone, they're going to be buying a product of yours or buying a service of yours that will put them now, once they buy from you, they are now in your community, your tribe, your club, your group, your membership, they're in your sphere of influence, right? And so you want to be careful of anybody that you let in. So you don't want to, you want to make sure that you're clear that, if you're letting random people in, then you want to make sure that they have limited access to each other, because you don't know what kind of people they are. But if you have a community that requires interaction and community, then it's up to you as the leader to make sure that you vet those people. You can't just bring people in who can pay. You have to make sure that they meet the standards of the community so that you raise the bar and force them to raise up to be able to get over the bar, right? That's leadership and influence in the sales conversation and in the sales process and in general. And then you set the stage inside the community. Guys, here's the rules. Here's the rules of engagement. Make sure that you sign off. And anybody who doesn't, you have to make sure you monitor it, right? That's leadership. That's influencing through leadership versus just being an influencer. So it's a very interesting topic. We can definitely unpack it further, but I want to keep this nice and tight so you have this to think on. Please make comments, post, share, like, rate, and subscribe. I would love to hear from you in this perspective. What is it that you think about leadership and influence? What do you think the difference is between the two? Do you see yourself more of an influencer or as a leader, or both? And in what circumstances? I would love to hear your thoughts. Please let me know if you think I'm crazy. Or if I'm hitting some nerves, or if I'm firing off on some good points for you. So thanks so much for allowing us to be part of your success team. Please engage, share this with other people, because we have so much more coming and so much more value to deliver and offer, and let us know how we can serve you. And keep your head on a swivel and keep your eyes open. We have a lot of offerings coming out. We have some great events coming. There's always things coming down the pipe, and we love to be able to serve you in any way we can. All right, go make magic happen. We'll talk soon.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Make More Sales podcast. If you like what you're hearing, you'll definitely want to check out our Make More Sales Facebook group, where you'll find more amazing content, including free sales training and live content happening every single week. So make sure to follow the link below to join. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show, and share it with your friends. That way, more people can learn how to make more sales without getting better at selling. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.